Welcome back. It's JVceo, the one and only. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, make sure you comment, and make sure you share. Alright? I will keep saying this. We are racing to 10,000 subscribers. Make sure you're one of them. Is entrepreneurship overrated? I'll give my answer at the end of the video. Everyone owns a business now, right? But that's that. Which is great, by the way. I'm not criticizing that. But more importantly, I think social media paints a false picture. Social media is a facade. Social media paints a very false picture of business, success of business, the ease of business, the reach of business, and just business in general. You know, it's easy to look on social media and think that everyone's business owners, but bear in mind that a lot more people are working 9 to 5 successfully than those who are running businesses. Bear in mind that businesses fail at an incredible rate. Some numbers which I'll be talking about later on in this video. But the question is entrepreneurship overrated? To consider this in full, we'll go through a few bits. We'll talk about how successful it is to run your own business, but also how successful it is to be a working person. What your lifelong ambitions are, but also what your general skills are in terms of when it comes to owning a business, operating a business, and launching a business successfully. In my opinion, right, I don't think there's one answer to this, which I might give an answer at the end of the video. But firstly, owning your own business is very rewarding. Very rewarding in the sense that the monetary sort of gain from it, once you get it right, is great. The freedom that it gives you is even better. An example being, bro, I can't lie, it feels good. I don't have to fill out no, holiday forms to book in my holidays with a line manager or maybe a day that I'm not feeling too well. I stay in bed a little longer. So maybe rather than waking up 5, 6 in the morning, I'll get up at 10 in the morning and then just push everything back. So it's rewarding in that sense. It's rewarding in that sense. And in that sense, owning or running a business or being an entrepreneur isn't overrated. But there are a lot of misconceptions, some of which we're going to go into right now. Can you consistently work from, let's say 6 a.m. or let's say 7 a.m. to 12 a.m. 7 a.m. to 12 a.m. And essentially speaking, let's even be more realistic. Can you work from, let's say, 5:30 a.m. to 12 a.m.? Because essentially speaking, on some days, these are the hours that I'm doing. And working or owning or running a business or multiple businesses is intense. It's long. It's not very. It doesn't give you a very good balance in terms of your personal life and your work-life balance is what I was looking for. I was going to say social life and personal life, but that makes sense. It doesn't give you enough work-life balance. And if you can't do this consistently, and I've never burnt out, but that's because I'm a different kettle of fish, right? If you're unable to do this consistently, then maybe, you know, running or owning a business is not for you, you know? With that being said as well, another thing being, the reason why sometimes I think running a business may be overrated, when you think about it, if I was to work from 5 a.m. to 12, that's 19 hours, I believe, right? Which sometimes I do. I wake up at 5 a.m. and it's go time. I mean, in between that, I'm going to obviously incorporate showering, walking my dogs, exercising and whatnot. But generally speaking, I'm working maybe 14 hours out of that 19 hours that I'm awake, right? So if I'm working 14, 15 hours every single day, sometimes even longer, is it not worth working a normal job instead? Because if you break it down and you break down the hourly rates, if your business isn't doing too great, I mean, I'm fine. Because I have some big days. You know, there are days where on one of my businesses, I might do £400. Some days I might do £1,000. On another business, I might close a £4,000 deal in one day. So, you know, it's different for me. But generically speaking, from a normal business standpoint, if your business is doing £100 a day, £150 a day, and you are working, let's say, 14, 15 hours, is it really worth it? Especially when there is no scope to scale. Are you not better off going and getting a job that pays you 12, 13, 14, 15 pound an hour or even more? An example being, if you were on a £45,000 salary for example, I think you're probably earning around, I'm not sure, but maybe around, I'll throw a number out there, maybe around 2,700 a month, you know, which you're only working around anywhere from 35 to 45 hours a week. You're not doing 15 hours a day, 15 hours a day, 7 days a week. What does that work out to be? That's 30, 30, 30. That's not, whoa, that's huge. That's huge. 7 days a week. Over 6 days alone is around 90 hours. So like I said, you're better off getting a job in that regards. If you are doing that, then maybe, you know, entrepreneurship is overrated, because it's not what it all seems to be. It's long hours, it's tiring, and it's boring. You know, sometimes can be boring, especially when you don't like what you're doing. So that's just my opinion anyways. And by the way, this video is not to discourage you from pursuing a career in entrepreneurship or pursuing a career in a business or starting a business. Not to discourage you. If anything, it's more to paint a more realistic picture than what is out there at the moment, from influencers and social media and YouTube and artists, and everyone makes it seem so easy. Everyone has a Rolex, everyone drives fancy cars, everyone goes to Dubai, and you think that business is great. No, it's not that easy. It's not that easy. And a lot of people, believe it or not, do not run successful businesses. A lot of people that live that lifestyle, take away the social media influencers and stuff, a lot of people that live that lifestyle do not simply run a successful business. They mix their businesses with other illegal activities. So just be very careful with who you try and emulate and who you try and put on a pedestal as the go-to guy for business. With that being said as well, there's a massive shift towards entrepreneurship at the moment. And I think with that, with that shift, there's only going to be more competition. I mean, that's what I'm alluding to anyways, or that's what I can infer from that sort of shift. The more shift there is towards entrepreneurship, the more that your business idea or your business will clash with other potential businesses, you know, because when there is more people in a space, I believe that a lot of businesses, probably 95% of any business in this world has already been discovered, right? So most certainly, whatever it is that you're doing, there's probably someone else already doing it. So now, if there are more people, you know, running into that field of entrepreneurship, then you risk clashing with other potential business owners, which would reduce your profitability, which will reduce the market space in general within that particular field, and all in all would give you a smaller amount of profit. However, if you can stay grounded and you understand the true meaning of what it is to be a business owner, entrepreneur, whatever you want to call yourself, entrepreneurship actually isn't overrated. Entrepreneurship isn't a rags to riches story. Entrepreneurship is about hard work, it's about grit, it's about determination, it's about being able to pivot, it's about failing and always getting up and being prepared to get up 1,000 times more times 100. If that makes any sense. And I think if you can substantiate this before even getting started, you will go very far in business. Forget what, you know, other people seem to project out there in terms of how flavorful owning or running a business is. It isn't a bed of roses. And I think once you sort of build your mindset into that sort of state, you will eventually start to appreciate the business you run, and you know, generally become more successful at it as well. Because like leading on from that, you know, it's that whole notion of quick profits, isn't it? Oh, I hate my line manager. Oh, I hate this. I hate that. I'm just going to start a business, and you know, I could go all the way with it. Bear in mind, like I said earlier on, a lot of new businesses fail, but also it's that false fallacy of quick profits. It's that false fallacy of, like I said previously, rags to riches. Ain't no business giving you rags to riches. In fact, you're more likely to fail running your business if you're not prepared and you're not very clear in terms of what your goals are, what your strategies are. You're more likely to fail. So in that regards, I don't think entrepreneurship is overrated if you come into it with the right mentality, if you come into it with the right approach. However, just the way that is being presented on social media at the moment, I do think is overrated. And then finally, to close up this video, another thing where I think, or another reason why I think a lot of people fail, is they come into the whole entrepreneurship or entrepreneurial world with little or no experience. They haven't worked a proper job. If they have, then they might have worked a basic customer consultant role. You know, they haven't really excelled at the workplace. And chances are, if you haven't excelled in the workplace and you haven't learned anything, you will struggle in your own personal business, because that's how you gain experience, to use your personal business. Like myself being a prime example, I worked up until a store manager and even covered for the region on numerous occasions. And a lot of those skills I acquired, I'm now using in a bunch of my businesses currently. You know, but before you run, you have to learn to walk. And that's where, you know, gaining that experience elsewhere and then bringing it across your business is very helpful. Because generally speaking, we tend to overstate or overestimate our skills. And we just think that, you know, everything is a breeze. And we give ourselves a very simplistic view of things. And I think in that regards, entrepreneurship is overrated. And in conclusion, I would say entrepreneurship is overrated, simply because I know more people that are successful employees than I know more people that are successful business owners. And maybe the reason for that are part of the points that I raised up in this video. There needs to be a shift in mindset, and people need to understand what really makes a business tick, and people need to equip themselves with the right skill before actually running up to start a business. People need to understand how to research, how to build a business around your customers. Don't just run off to start, you know, a business that everyone's starting, or maybe a sprinkled cake, or maybe a food business. Have some real passion behind it. Have some real strategy behind you. And even if you're starting a sprinkled cake business or a food business, then you realize that you go very far. So that's my opinion. And in conclusion, I will say that entrepreneurship is overrated. Again, my opinion. Put your opinions down in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment.